I'll introduce myself first. I'm Sam. I work for a tech incubator called Launch Academy. We're a nonprofit tech incubator. We've been around for 14 years. Through that time, we've helped over 6,000 entrepreneurs. Paul is one of them. And a lot of those entrepreneurs, or 300 of those entrepreneurs, have gone on to raise over $2 billion as entrepreneurs in BC. So it's a cool track record, but my day-to-day and my job there was as a program manager. To be honest with you, the majority of the entrepreneurs I work with are not those top 300. Some of them will be career changers. Some of them will be bootstrapped companies. Some of them will be new to town, and even though they have 15 years of experience building a startup in Europe, they don't have the connections or the resources or the mentorship here. And those are the folks that I work with on a day-to-day basis. Not a couple years ago, but a couple months ago, I kind of had this idea, well, like this silent majority of entrepreneurs, silent majority of builders, who can support them, right? And obviously, like this is Launch Academy's, frankly, business model to support all these different types of builders. But the reality is, in one cohort, like, I don't know, Paul, 10 companies maybe at the most, right? 15 if we're being aggressive, but then now the classroom size thing becomes an issue. We can only support so many entrepreneurs so many ways. The majority of these guys that are not looking to fundraise, for example, that are bootstrapped, that are just building something maybe as a side business or as a hobby, they're not going to get the resources, the connections, the mentorship that we're able to give these companies. And so I asked myself a question: what if we built a platform that could do this and it really be scalable? And so I did what any lean entrepreneur would do. I made 2 splash pages on Lovable, and here it is. And I started talking to people because that's what we teach them in startup school. Everybody thought I was building LinkedIn again. Nobody cared. And then on top of that, 2 weeks later, my wife and I had a baby. So end of the customer discovery. Thank you, appreciate that. End of the customer discovery, and it's just another one of those things that Sam tried to do for a little bit and failed. How many of you guys have kids in the audience? Just curiosity. So some kids, right? One thing I learned about having a kid is it takes up a lot of your time, and your arms are not free a lot because you have to hold them a lot because they can't walk their babies, right? But what I learned is my arms are busy, but my fingers are free. And so what happened is every night, 2 to 3 hours of this contact napping, I got pretty bored. And so I thought back to this idea I had for this platform, and I started just ChatGPTing it, whatever. The site was already on Lovable, and I built a login. I built what looked like a dashboard, half of it on the computer, half of it on my phone while holding him to sleep. And that was that. And what I was doing was I was prompting ChatGPT to give me code so that I could tell Lovable, because Lovable doesn't seem to understand what I'm saying. Sorry if anybody works at Lovable here. To prompt it. So I did 2 weeks of this copy pasting back and forth. Again, remember, I'm not a developer. And it kind of worked, but I got pretty frustrated. And then somebody was like, why don't you use Claude Code? Just you can connect your code to GitHub. And I was like, I don't know, man, that seems like a lot of work. So one night though, I got really fed up, and it turns out the lot of work that I was avoiding was 2 hours of setup. And so 2 hours later, I'm on Claude Code. So I think that's enough talking for me. Let's see what I've built. So this is the platform that I was talking about. It's called Buildrs. It's without an E because I couldn't afford buildrs.dev with the E. Very honest here. And you can make an account just really simply. And really what it's doing is trying to support you. Oh, turns out I already made an account as a builder. So in here, you can see then the onboarding. I'm going to try and zoom in because the font is a little small. It asks you what type of builder you are, a hacker, or are you a professional working at Microsoft or Google or whatever? Are you a founder? Are you support services such as maybe you have legal, accounting, or are you an investor? So I'm going to click hacker for now just because that's the fastest. It also asks you, well, what are your skills? Are you a developer? Are you a designer? Are you sales? Are you ops? We're just going to click sales for now. And then to a little bit of what we're working on. I don't have time for this, so we're not working on anything. And then it asks you, have I shipped anything? No, not yet. Have I been to a meetup? Not yet. And so once that populates, I'm going to zoom back out, you have a dashboard here. I'm going to move out now and go into my own account because it's a little bit more interesting than the account we just made up. But what you can see here is a very simple question. It prompts you, what happened recently, right? And I'm talking about in the perspective of, hey, I'm a builder, I'm building something, right? And so there's a couple of things builders do. They ship things, they pivot from things, they break things, and then they go to events like this one, right? And what I'm aiming to do is I'm aiming to log all of these parts of your journey. And at first, it seems a little bit meaningless, but what I'm able to do is start to understand what type of builder you are. Maybe you're really interested in design. Maybe you're 10 years into hardware. Maybe you're just starting like me as a vibe coder. And from whatever information you start to input, I'm able to give you access to resources that you didn't have before. These are resources that we have built with partnerships with Launch Academy over the last 14 years. And so because I'm a verified founder on this platform, I get access to more drops than if I just made the brand new account. What else it does is, and I'm going to show you in a second, is I do have an events database that tracks every single event in Vancouver. And so I can tell you right now, there's no public facing thing. I think that's the next thing that we're going to work on, is that there's 38 events happening in the city that are tech adjacent this week. And so what we're going to do right now is I'm going to kind of live record, and I'm going to try and do this with one hand, that I am demoing. And what am I presenting? I am presenting builders. And everyone is watching me type silently. Okay. And so it does go for review, and this is, I think, the most important part of the system, is anybody can say they built anything or did anything. With the system I created, everything is verified to the best of my ability. And so on the back end, there's no AI yet. It's literally just me. Hopefully this loads, saying, hey, and I see that someone already used it, so I'll approve them too.
30 seconds.
Yep. I'm going to approve myself for being a presenter here tonight. And what happens is, if it works, it says on stage at Claude for everyone. And so now I've logged that. And what else happened here, if you scroll down, is I now have an exclusive drop for everybody that's going to attend this event tonight. And so in here, it will have a full guide of every prompt I used, every tool in my stack, and you can get that all with this QR code, not my face. So it's just shoot you the QR code, and then you'll get dropped my whole build. And yeah, that's it. Thanks.